giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Happy Friday, baby. Feel Good Friday. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Freeman Mazda, and Hyundai. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom. We're going to have fun today. Oh, I already see y'all in the chat here talking about one of the topics, but we're going to measure the pulse of the Cowboys Nation. Shout out to John Machota. He has a fantastic fan survey that we'll get to in the second half of the show. But in the roundup, y'all know we're going to talk about it. Von Miller detailed his offer to the Cowboys, and I got some words. Y'all got some words. And I'm going to tell you why Stephen Jones should have pulled the trigger just to prove his point. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's all going to make sense a little bit later. Plus, Osa Odighizuwa shows off a little bit more. We'll go ahead and show you some of his workouts and how he's been hitting that. Where's my guy Vach at? Off-season peanut butter, man. I am super stoked about Osa Odighizuwa and what he could do in this defense. But got a good, fun show. I told y'all what Friday was going to be about. Now, at the beginning, it ain't going to be quite roll out the TV. It's not going to be quite that. But it will form into roll out the TV. We're not going to sit here and put your pencils down. We ain't studying. We're not going crazy. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to put on October Sky. Hands to the sky. And we're going to have some fun. All right? Nothing too crazy today. It's Friday. I'm excited for the weekend. I got some fun plans going on this weekend. What y'all doing this weekend, huh? What y'all doing this weekend? I got, in honor of what I'm doing today, I rocked my Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. SmackDown's coming to Fort Worth. So I'm taking my boys to their first SmackDown live event. My youngest, it'll be his first wrestling event, period. Like, to me, WWE, you might not like it, whatever, but in live, it's fantastic presentation. It's fun, so I can't wait for that. If you're going to be there, let me know. I will see y'all there. Don't be shy. If not, all good. I'll let y'all know how it goes via the Twitter sphere. By the way, follow me on Twitter if y'all can. Ask Skywalker Still. And y'all can call into the show 351-999-3787 if you got some, words on the Von Miller situation or the Cowboys fan survey, which is very interesting. I kind of glanced at it. I didn't want to study all the questions because I wanted to be kind of not a shock, but I wanted to have raw reactions to the questions as well. So you can call in and do that. But where are my manners? Shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
Professor O said B-Day weekend and he's going to see Thor. Hey, man, happy birthday to one of the dopest Cowboys writers out there. My guy, the stat machine, Professor O. I'll be going to see Thor tomorrow. We postponed it a little bit, so I'll be going tomorrow. But happy birthday to you, brother. Hope you have a good weekend with you and the fam. We got Swain in the building, Ivan, David J., Kavaris, TC915, Stephen White, James Rogley, Gotti Baby 85 was Goody Peasy, Jonathan Scruggs, Lemitra, how are you? Alpha Mason, of course, Toxic Tom Downey Burner count. He says, I got no plans and I love it. Sometimes those are my favorite weekends when I'm chilling. So I feel you, bro. Professor O says, Sky Shirt says, what would Stephen Jones do? Zeus C, what's good? That's so 2009. What up? JT, the pipe layer, Arthur White, Joey Vela, CT Maddenhead. What up, Arthur? I got you, Arthur. I already got you, man. Let's see. Y'all been in here chatting so long, all the names didn't drop down. What's up, Derek? C. Burleson in the building. Let me go to the top. Maybe that'll help out. Let me help out a little bit. Nah, we good. I think we got mostly everybody over here on YouTube. Facebook is still rolling through here. What up, Peasy? And anybody else that misses the intro, it's cool. Y'all still part of the Bomb Squad. I love y'all.
Bomb Squad!
Still y'all the same. What up, Rick? We got Rick in the building, Rami, and I already got you, Steven. I see you, bro. Here we go, Facebook. Raymond Cheney and Arthur. I see you, Timo. Anthony, and many more. My guy CJ will be in here. King Ken will be in here. I'd like to give y'all shout outs in the beginning of the show when I remember to, because y'all are a major part of this whole thing that's growing and a major part of the opportunities that I've been given over the last year, man. It's been a year, y'all. I forgot to tell y'all that. It's been a year since I moved down here. About, a week ago? And it has been a whirlwind of things. Great opportunities have come my way. We've grown here, and a lot more is in store, and a lot more great things are in store, I think, for Cowboys Nation, Skywalker Nation, A to Z Sports, The Volume, because I'm with The Volume as well. So it's a lot of good things coming together, and I absolutely could not be here without two things. You guys, and most importantly, my lady, Michelle. There is just no way this would happen. For those who are busy people, whether it be man, woman, your significant other plays a major, major impact, I think, in getting there. That whole, I don't want to call it cliche. Behind every strong man is a strong, that shit's real. Okay? That's real. There's no way I'm in this situation without Michelle. So, got to give a shout out to her. This year wouldn't be able to, be where I'm at without her. So, shout out to Michelle. Love you. And I love you, Cowboys Nation, for keep rocking with your boy. All right. We ready? Are we ready? I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let go. Oh, diggity. No doubt. Hey, man. Osa. Y'all, I think I'm gonna go ahead and let my fandom just take over. So just please don't mind me. Just let my fandom go crazy. Y'all, I try to be as measured as possible. I try to be as fair as possible because I feel like I have an obligation not to steer y'all wrong. But Osa, I'm just ready to say this dude's going to be fantastic this year. Borderline Pro Bowl. You could call me crazy. It is what it is. But he dropped a little video, was it yesterday? Showing off some of his quickness and whatnot. He also took a picture. We talked about it on The Volume, showing off his gains in the offseason, peanut butter. I am just over the moon with this guy because, and it could be because of one or two things, y'all. Y'all know me for safety position because I love the position, I played it, but also because Dallas just continues to ignore it. So when I see a certain player, I want to highlight him and say, hey, man, we could do something with this guy. Similar thing to defensive tackle. Dallas just can't seem to find consistency from that position. And I see a guy and I'm like, wait a minute, man. This could be the guy. If we put all our resources and give him an opportunity, I think Osa can be that guy. I think it's going to start this year. I think he's going to be one of your biggest risers on the team. And clearly, I believe that because I put him in the top 15 of my squad, where last year he probably wouldn't have cracked the top 25, right? Most rookies didn't. Only one rookie did this year. So I'm big on Osa. I'm all in on him. If it fails, I'm more than welcome to come back on here and say I was dead ass wrong. But 10 toes is down on Osa. Strap me up. I'm ready for the Kool-Aid. And y'all know I don't drink it. Arthur said, drink the Kool-Aid, Sky. I'm with you. Y'all know I don't drink it. I might smell it a little bit, but I ain't quite ready to drink the Cowboys Kool-Aid all the way to the Super Bowl just yet. It's a lot of things that got to happen. They got to show me over the next few months before I go that far. Which, by the way, hold on to that. Put a pin in that question because that'll be a part of the fan survey. All right, Osa. I got that out the way. This is what y'all really came for. So the big news yesterday in a time period where there is no news. So any small little thing that comes out is going to get overblown a bit. But you got to figure out and find a way to find the real substance in these things. And that's what I'm going to try to do here. Von Miller sat down with The Athletic and basically told said reporter or writer that he would have taken less to come to Dallas. Here's the actual quote. I told them I was ready to come to the Cowboys. I would have taken less to go to Dallas because it was Dallas, but I wouldn't have taken that much less. They offered him the Randy Gregory contract. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. They offered him the Randy Gregory contract. First of all, I do believe that he would have come to Dallas. The far less part, or the less part, was more of a surprise to me. Was more of a bit of a surprise to me. But it makes sense, right? His family's here, his son's here, the no tax situation. He was a Cowboy fan. He's at the end of his career. He wants to be closer to the fam. It all makes sense. It's the Dallas Cowboys, right? It still has some star, but that luster, I think, is dimming a bit. So I do believe Von Miller, maybe not everybody else, maybe not every single free agent wants to come to Dallas, but I believe Von Miller truly did have that. D. Ware talked about it. Micah talked about it. And we saw Miller on camera talk about, hey, what's Dallas talking about? I'm interested. So let's kind of revisit what he did sign for. 6 years, $120 million. Initially, I was like, whoa. Nah. That's a lot of money. What's good, though? Where's the funny money at? Let's see the details. Let's wait. Because if it's truly 6 and for 120, nah, I'm goody. I'm goody. Then the details came out. And now this detail comes out that they offered him the Randy Gregory deal, which was 5 years, $70 million at $14 million per year. Okay. So y'all was willing to go. Hey, Steven, if you was willing to go that high for a free agent outside of Dallas, I got to tip my hat to you. So what happened? Why just stop? What were you afraid of? Was those numbers too big? Let's dive into the numbers right quick. And let's dive into the fact that before I get in here to the chat, I did see something earlier. Shout out to my guy, Sam. I got to disagree with this one. Von Miller is basically Dante Fowler? Nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. He's not basically Dante Fowler. Von Miller is basically a Hall of Famer that still played like such last year. And I think that kind of just won over people's heads. Like, I think people forgot that Von was Von. People forget he played the entire season and postseason and had like 13 and a half sacks. He got traded to the Rams and still went off. And I will do this because I don't want to be a hypocrite. When he got traded to the Rams, I had my reservations when I saw the compensation. It was a second round pick and a third round pick. I kind of was like, I don't know, man, not for this. For this team, it wasn't because I didn't believe in Von Miller. It was because this team doesn't know how to recoup a second and third round pick if it doesn't work out. This team doesn't know how to get value out of their, in my opinion, they don't know how to get value out of the trade market in any rate. So I didn't trust them to bring on a Von Miller if it didn't work for the Dallas Cowboys, for them to then go back into the trade market or then trade up, trade down, whatever, right? Trade players to recoup those things. Didn't trust him. So I was reserved on it. But then Von Miller went and played for the LA Rams and balled out. And I was like, oh, okay. This is what he did, and this is why he's not no goddamn Dante Fowler. In 12 games with the LA Rams, he had 9 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, 14 quarterback hits, 32 pressures, 24 stops. Guys, that is no slouch. He's got plenty of juice. He's not done. And then you look at his cap hit from the contract, which the 6-year 120 wasn't 6-year 120. It was 3 years, $52.5 million. And they have an out after year 3. That's what smart teams do. Dallas does the same damn thing when it comes to their own people. They try to put in that, that out in the contract 2 or 3 years in. They know that. So you look at the cap hit, and it's $5.15 million right now. $18 million next year and $21 million in the third year. Buffalo looked at this thing as, all right, I got about 2 to 3 years to try to get this ring with the current team constructed before I got to start moving on from certain players. I believe that's how it's done. I believe that's how you go get these type of players. You go get these missionary, these type of hitmen, right? That will go to a Super Bowl caliber team and try to get you over the hump like he did with the Rams. Let's not be mistaken here. You could really argue the Rams don't win the Super Bowl without 2 guys that they didn't have to start the season, Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. So at the top of the show, I said if I was Steven, I would have did this, and this to prove my point. And let me tell you what that point is. We know Stephen Jones is Catboy, right? We understand that. Stephen Jones likes to go out into the media and tell everybody, well, you can't do it this way. You absolutely cannot sign these type of players to these big money deals. It doesn't work. Even though, right? Cool. All right, Stephen. Well, how about this? Prove it to us. Go sign Von Miller. Go sign Bobby Wagner. Right? And if it doesn't work, you're right. You're absolutely right. But what if it does? Huh? What if it does, Cowboys Nation? Your Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, whatever, right? And that would give the Cowboys and Stephen Jones more confidence, like, oh, you would hope. Okay, maybe we can do something like this moving forward to try to get over the hump. But not taking that chance, you never know. Because you've never done anything like that. I'd argue, if I was Stephen Jones, to shut me up, to shut some other fans up, I'm going to go sign Bobby Wagner and Von Miller. You hear me, Stephen? And it could have been done. Let me tell you how it could have been done. You saw that graphic, right? Von Miller's cap hit this year is $5 million. Bobby Wagner's cap hit this year, $2.5 million. You could have Bobby Wagner and Von Miller for $7.6 million on the cap this year. Come on, y'all. Come on, just play with me for a little bit right here. Just come into this universe for a second. For $7.6 million, you could have had DeMarcus Lawrence, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Micah Parsons. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Even if it don't work, for those who might say, well, no, we can't do that, because if it doesn't work, you're just going to come at him. No! I've been trying to tell y'all for the last couple years. If you do that, I'm going to applaud you. If it doesn't work, at least you tried. I can't even criticize you because you haven't done it. And when you did it with Brandon Carr, I'm not one of those dudes that's criticizing you for signing Brandon Carr. The Brandon Carr thing worked. You, where my censor button at? You it up by bringing in a guy who didn't play to his strengths. You mean to tell me Dan Quinn wouldn't get busy with Bobby, Micah, D-Law, and Von? Come on. I just had to get that out, Cowboys Nation. It was possible, I should say. It was possible because they both wanted to be here. And it's possible you could have got top tier production out of those dudes because you got a guy who was getting gold, right? Or he's putting gold plates over sterling silver type of dudes. So I digress. I just wanted to get that out there because Von kind of let it out a little bit that, hey, they offered me the Randy contract and I would have came for less, but not that much less. If you look at his deal, it's 3 years, $52 million. That comes out to 17.3. You mean to tell me you're not willing to go up $3 to $4 more million per year for a better chance to get to the Super Bowl? I don't know, man. I don't know. That seems to me like scared money don't make no money. All right, now I'll get to this chat here and see what y'all saying about this. Esther said, can you imagine the competition and growth Michael would have with the... Come on, man. Come on, Esther B. Come on, man. Von Miller, D-Law in that room. Bobby back. Oh, all right, let's read some more. Let's read some more because $2 million is what it would take. $2 million more, I would have did it. Von wasn't washed, right? We're not talking about a washed player. We're talking about an expensive player. But it cost. It cost to be the boss in the NFL, man. Peasy said it's getting ugly in here. What's good? What's going on? What's happening in the chat? Just imagine the knowledge Wagner could have given Micah Parsons, says CJ. Defense is fine. Cowboys always get burnt with old players. Yeah, Ultra, I forgot you was one of those. Where as long as it's fine, everything's good. The problem, Dallas has been fine for the last decade. Don't you want to get over the hump? Dallas always gets burnt with old players. Interesting that you use the term old players and not great players. Like these aren't just ordinary old players. This isn't Brent Urban. This ain't Gerald McCoy. This is a Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner, a Hall of Famer Von Miller, playing at still a high level. This is different. This is different. This would have showed me that you are willing to be aggressive to try to go get a Super Bowl ring and not continue to do what has not worked for you. The Rams didn't go higher than the Cowboys for Von, and they gave up a second and third. Oh, you guys are talking in the chat. All right. DQ would have a gold jacket, says Swain. Mac Jones says Von overpriced. Sure, at 6 years, $120 million. But at 3 years, $52 million, that comes out to $17.3 million. You were willing to pay Cowboys $14 per to Gregory. I'm willing to go up 3 more for Von Miller. Don't tell me Randy Gregory is better than Von Miller now. Are we doing that? We ain't doing that, all right? Joe said if you add Bobby Wagner and Von Miller with Parsons, you're talking Super Bowl for sure. I mean, there's people actually talking Super Bowl right now because all they can hang their hats on is the belief of the year 2 players, improving to Super Bowl level play. That is a risky thing. It takes some cojones to believe that that's what's going to propel you to the Super Bowl. They got to show me before I'm saying, yo, the Ghost and Osa and these guys can improve. They can improve and the Cowboys not be a Super Bowl team. That all can happen. If we're gonna go to the Super Bowl because of those dudes, my goodness, you're talking about a leap that is not normal. So to mitigate that progression in a young player's career, go get these type of veterans. Adrian Nall, Warner, yes, Von, no. I got both. Why not? James, if the Cowboys sign Von, I think my friend will go nuts. He's a fan of his when he was in Denver. Oscar wants to go sign Julio. Not the same, I think, than the other 2 dudes. C said Von Miller disrespect is outrageous. What they saying in here? What are they saying in here about Von, man? Lamar got shanked with the butter knife sky. In both situations, got to look at the players around Miller versus Fowler. Hold up. Oh. Are you making the case that Dante Fowler is equivalent to Von Miller? Because I think from player to player basis, Von Miller is much better than Dante Fowler, right? So yes, then you put the surroundings around him. Think about the surroundings that Von would have had in Dallas. Who's better in Dallas, Von or Dante? I think Vaughn would be much better. And I think Fowler is going to be really good. We're talking about Hall of Famer. Do you think do you think, Arthur White says, that was an impact of having Sure. There's no doubt about it, Arthur White. And think about it. He had Aaron Donald in L.A. He got Micah Parsons in Dallas. He got DeMarcus Lawrence in Dallas. These are two players that defenses go line up and say, okay, we got to know where he's at, and we got to know where he's at. Oh, shit, now we got to know where Von's at. Ah, shit, now we got to know where Bobby's at. Right? So the situation, I don't think, changes much. You still have elite level players that Von will be playing with. I think it's fascinating, man. I'm scrolling back down here. Okay, Sam. I see where Sam's going here. Fowler mid, says Flo. Fowler's career is definitely mid. There's no doubt about that. But I still think he's going to be a good signing a good player for Dallas. Not a hump player. I think Von is a hump player. Trey said they finna bring Angry Sky out. No, man, no, not at all. Because this is a hypothetical in regards to Von, Trey. But if you tell me that Dante's better, then yeah, you might get Angry Sky. I'm gonna read a few more on this one, then we'll get to the fan survey because there's a lot of. I didn't realize there was that many questions, but it's Friday. We got a little bit of time. Is Danny in the building? I ain't seen my man Danny in a minute. Danny said, "We the idiots. We rooting for Dallas." Tizzy says he remembers at the beginning of free agency, I said I would rather have Randy than Von. I said that? I'd rather have Randy than Von. I probably said I would have definitely brought back Randy Gregory. If you gave me both of those guys at the same amount of money and told me they're both going to be healthy, I think I would rather have Von. Now, I will say this. I do remember at the trade deadline, I was like, I think I'm out on trade for Von. Because I'm that package, a 2 and a 3. Nah, I don't trust Dallas if they miss to make up for that. We need those picks, right? But Randy or Von, now that's a different question. Randy or Von? I like a healthy Randy a lot too. Now don't get twisted. Now I don't want y'all to think I'm poo-pooing on Randy. Y'all know I was big time Randy guy. I wanted to bring him back. He younger, not as much tread on the tire. It's very possible I could have said that, Teasy. Was it Teasy whoever said that? Very possible. Very possible. But we're talking about Von with no Randy. Like, Randy's out the equation. So you could have brought Von Miller on board for $3-4 million. Oh, well, hell yeah. Let's do it. Got a couple super chats here.
Super chat.
Lamar says with the $5 donation, not make cuz for Fowler. Okay, I'm not sure at the beginning. Just saying, last season, who you playing with on defense? All defense or Rams with Donald Ram? Hey, Lamar, brother. I can't make that out. You must have been typing too fast. Not make cuz for Fowler at all. Just saying, last season, who you playing with on defense? I can't make that out, bro. I'm just going to try to read this part. So you're saying he played with Donald and Ramsey? He'd play with Micah and He'd play with Micah and Trayvon Diggs. What are you talking about? B Bird, appreciate you for the $2 donation.
Super chat.
Stephen Jones has to worry about the upcoming Parsons contract. All right, my last take real quick before I get to Danny, because Danny is on the horn. I want to make sure I get to him. I don't want this part to go to like be missed. Do you guys think it makes sense when I said that if I was Steven, I would have did it just to prove my point? Because I think it's a win-win situation. Here's why. It's a win-win situation. Signing these dudes are not going to stop you from extending your guys. Let's just get that out the way. Micah's contract is way down the line. You can still extend Trayvon Diggs. You can still extend CD Lamb. So before somebody says, well, you won't have the money. Yes, you will. Let's not even talk about that. Here's why it's a win-win. If it works, Dallas has went to an NFC Championship game. Dallas has maybe went to a Super Bowl. Hell, maybe they win it on the back of your defense. Right? If it doesn't, now Stephen Jones, or if it just half-heartedly works, now Stephen Jones has proof that this doesn't work in Dallas for him. I don't think there's real legitimate proof in today's day and age of free agency because Stephen Jones hasn't went out and done that. A lot of fans will say, oh, well, Jerry Jones used to go out there and sign all the free agents and do all the things and yada, 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 yada. Jerry Jones' downfall wasn't the free agency aspect of things. Jerry Jones' downfall when he thought he could do it on his own was going out here and trading 2 draft picks for Joey Galloway and Roy Williams. That was his player acquisition personnel, whatever, downfall. Not free agency, man. Not free agency. So I'd argue, do it, Steven. Prove us wrong. Sorry, Ray, but I appreciate your donation.
Super chat.
He said, you made me dislike Stephen Jones even more. I'm trying to give Stephen Jones an olive branch. Do it. If it don't work, you can come on here and say, I told you, Skywalker Steel. Shut your up. I'm like, hey, you right. All right. Danny, you here to set me straight, Danny? When Danny start with a huff.
All right, follow me, Scott. Good morning. I can't even get mad over this because...
No, I don't get mad over it. No.
After 1995, when we signed Deion Sanders, that's 1995. After Deion, besides Roy Glover at defensive tackle, we spent money, and Brandon Carr, we spent money. What other free agent did we ever spend money for on defense?
Oh, defense.
I'll be waiting. On defense.
Very good point.
I'll be waiting. I can't even get upset about this because you know what? You got to know this. Everybody has to know this. This is like Charlie Brown when the poor bastard goes to kick the football and Lucy pulls it away from him all the time and he falls on his face. You can't get mad over this. This is the Dallas Cowboys. What does Jerry care? Monday night, Sunday night, prime time. Stadium's going to be packed. All the idiots are going to be spending $25 a piece on their white claws.
Hey, Randy. Or not Randy, Danny. Come on now.
I like white claws. But I'm just saying, the stadium's going to be packed.
It wasn't the white claws why I said that. It was the idiots.
But it's like, and I'm one of them. But it's like, I just, but you know what it is? Every year, I just stop caring. I stop caring more and more. If this guy was willing to take less, and you offer him the Randy Gregory deal, that's a slap in the face. Listen, there's better strippers in Dallas than there is in Buffalo. That's a good reason to stay in Dallas. You don't got the state tax in Texas that you do in New York, where he's going to get murdered, and you offer him the same. Listen, like I said, every year, I'm an old man, but every year I just care less and less and less. Because you know what it is? At the end of the day, we're the ones getting laughed at. When the mayor of Dallas says, I think we need another team here, that's a slap in the face. Now, I'm going to go old school now, and if people can Wikipedia this. 50, 60 years ago, when the Giants were horrible.
What?
The state of the New York Giants.
I'll let you finish. I hear you.
50, 60 years ago, the state of New Jersey tried taking the team away from them.
Okay.
That's what they did. They tried taking the team away from them. That's how bad they were. They were like, they're New York, New Jersey. They should have a competitive team. Like I said, I can't even get mad at this. I'm just
Nah.
frustrated. But like I said, besides Glover and Brandon Carr, we're going 27 years. 27 years, two guys in 27 years. The joke's on us. You guys on later on with the volume later on or no?
Nah, not today. He's dropping a sack school film session though.
All right, no problem. Like I said, I just can't. I can't even get upset. I'm gonna need a third cup of coffee after doing this one.
I ain't mean to get y'all in a tizzy this morning. I just thought it was fascinating to think of the possibilities.
No, I believe it.
That were truly available. Like we ain't talking about a far fetched thing, Danny. Like Wagner and Vaughn was truly available, and I know we're excited about the defense, but just imagine how much more excited we would be when you add two Hall of Famers that are still getting busy. That's all.
Those two type of guys to this defense could put a team over the top and get another ring. 100%. 100%.
I would definitely lean towards that as well, bro.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, guys.
You too, man.
Talk.
My bad, Cowboys Nation. Did I get y'all? I got y'all a little excited here. My apologies. What happened was when I saw this come out, I was like, wait a minute. We could have had boom, 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 boom. It was very possible. These are two dudes interested in coming to Dallas. And I start thinking about the defense and how I think this team is going to be relying on the defense this year more than the offense for the first time in a very long time. Don't get it twisted, though. The offense still has a possibility to be a very good offense and will need to be leaned on at times as well. But I'd argue the defensive unit is better than the offensive unit right now. All right, are we gonna blaze through these because I do want to get to the survey, y'all. I do. I think it's a fun survey. 903, what it do?
Scott, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Lamar. I got shanked with a butter knife, man. I had to call in, man. I didn't want my first time to be calling in to explain some stuff.
No, listen, Lamar, this is what I like to do. This is why I love y'all, because when I asked y'all to call in to explain, you do so, and that makes it so much easier, because you know me, I like to talk it through. But I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yeah, man, I just didn't want my first time ever calling into your show to be like that. But anyways, what I was saying is you had the stats up there for Von Miller when I had made the text, whatever. And it was really a question. I'm just texting while I was working. It was really the question, and I was asking how much of that was the results of the product around him versus what Fowler had in Atlanta. Fowler didn't have those type of players in Atlanta. Like I know you were saying, with Micah and Diggs and everybody here, but I was saying how much of those stats from last year was based off of Ramsey and Donald and his team over there versus what Fowler had in Atlanta. That's what I was asking.
100%. I totally understand what you're saying, but that's why I try to separate it as in individually, right? Individually, Von Miller is a Hall of Fame level player who is still playing at a high level, right? No matter where he's at. I mean, he was still productive in Denver on his way out. He had like 4 sacks in Denver in, 6 games? So, and I know sacks aren't everything, but he was still productive. So I was trying to separate that because technically, if you bring Von to Dallas, I think he's going to be surrounded by a ton of talent defensively. So you could argue maybe those numbers go up, right? When you're with the team full time and you got Dan Quinn as your defensive coordinator. I'll take Dan Quinn over a lot of defense coordinators in this league. So I understand what you're saying. I just think individually, Von is much more superior.
Oh, most definitely. Well, first off, I'm a rock with anybody that's from Texas because you can ask Trey Manning. That's my cousin. We rock anybody that's from Texas, bro. So that's I'm 100% behind Vaughn. I was just asking in general, there's a lot of there's not everybody's gonna do the same thing in the same system, and how much of that is a product of around you. Vaughn is great individually, and yes, he would have been great. I think he'd have been great here in Dallas. And then it's not just because of Dan Quinn, or Michael Parsons and all that. I think he'd be great in Dallas just because he's from DeSoto. You know what I mean? He's back home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that matters. There's always stuff outside the game that matters that helps you, be better on the field because you're doing stuff off the field that helps out a lot. And so, so in my opinion, he would have been great here. But, like you said, Cowboy Jones ain't going to do that. I mean, what's 2-3 more million for these players that you're going to get back when you win the Super Bowl?
And
that's what I don't know.
And Lamar, do you feel me on if I was Steven, I would do it just to spite the damn nation. Just to prove myself right, because it's a win-win. If it works, now this type of thing works, and Cowboys might win a damn Super Bowl because of it. If it doesn't, you can say I told you so, and now your ego is even bigger. I know that might suck for Cowboys Nation, but at least you made the attempt to be aggressive to go get that thing.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, Scott, but we're talking about Cowboy.
Yeah.
He's more worried about making the numbers relevant than actually pleasing the fans.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's not worried about pleasing us. He's worried about pleasing his pocketbooks. I mean, let's just keep it real if we want to keep it real. No, there's no pressure on Steven to win the Super Bowl.
No, none.
It's a pressure on Steven to stay relevant, to keep the Cowboys relevant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He didn't have to get it out the mud like Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones had to get it out the mud. Why? Because he had to pay back that $140 million loan he got back. So he had to get it out the mud. Steven Jones got handed all this, and then it was like, okay, keep us relevant, keep us in the news, keep us in the media, keep our books good, and we're all good. We ain't got to worry about nothing. But when you think of it like that, the fans get the bottom end of it because all we want is a Super Bowl so we can say, oh, yeah, we ended our 26-year drought, so a 27-year drought with a freaking Super Bowl.
Right.
But no, the owners and the GM of the teams that we love and we care about and we die for, they don't care about us, man. And it's just a simple truth. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just a simple truth. They don't care about the wins and the Super Bowls like us. You remember last season? I don't remember what time. Jimmy Johnson put out a Super Bowl picture from back when he won, and it was like, this what happens in Dallas if you win. I think he did it on Twitter or something. I saw it on somebody else's channel. I think it was Lawler's or Boss Cowboys channel. But they put it out, Jimmy was like, this is what you get when you win the Super Bowl in Dallas. And it was just like a parade, and Dallas was just filled up with people and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, y'all caring about money, but y'all not thinking about the money that the Super Bowl is going to bring into you. You know what I mean? That's another way to think
Lamar,
about that money.
That's so crazy you say that, because I don't know if you watched the interview I had with Kenny the Shark Gant. I talked to Kenny for about an hour, but we only recorded 22 minutes of it. So I can't remember if this was in that interview or not, because it all kind of just comes to a blur. But he talked about how he really wants this younger generation, this new generation of Dallas Cowboys, to have this camaraderie and after effect family feel that his Super Bowl champion teams have now. He said that comes from being champions. Yeah, he actually wants to start a program where it's like champions helping champions. But it comes from having that success that they had. They're that close, and they all are still relevant in the Dallas area because they were champions. If they weren't, and I love Kenny, and Kenny will admit this to you, if I didn't win those Super Bowls with Dallas, nobody would give a damn about me in Dallas. They wouldn't.
Exactly.
But a special teams guy, a down the roster cornerback who did get a chance and he played well, is one of the most fan favorite guys in this city because they won Super Bowls, and he won Super Bowls with those teams and he played a part in it. So you're absolutely right. You have a chance to let your legacy live on forever in Dallas if you get a ring.
Right, and this is the sad part. The sad part to that, Scott, is exactly what you just said. Dallas is doing the complete opposite. Instead of making players relevant for winning a Super Bowl, they make players relevant for what they do outside of the field. And if you want to think about it, if Kelvin Joseph plays for the Chiefs, will we know anything about it? No. I mean, what was the dude last year? I'm not trying to throw shade or nothing, but what was it, Henry Ruggs or something like that?
Yeah.
That did something, we don't hear nothing about him, or Marshawn Lattimore, we don't hear nothing about him, but because it's Kelvin Joseph, he got the blue star on his helmet. I mean, hey, everybody knows about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point. Like, they look at what they want to see versus if you look at the whole picture, like you just said, we just gave 2 points on both sides of the story just that fast. You know what I mean? Just by us talking. And the Cowboys are just not doing that to help us or themselves, and it's just sad, man. I mean, and then like you just said, what Kenny said, he wants to do the championship thing. Yeah. I've always wondered if you got Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Nate Newton, all these people still in Dallas, why hasn't any one of them or any of them got together with the Cowboys of now and been like, hey, what the F are y'all doing?
No, well, I don't want you to think that doesn't happen, right? Like We know Michael Irvin. Dez is my son. Like he really was in Dez's ear, fam. Like I wish I could have a conversation with Dez because I bet you Mike was big in him kind of. I know it's gonna sound crazy because he wasn't the most mature, but calming down a bit, right, and kind of maturing as best as he could, given who Dez was. We see Charles Haley. He's around all the damn time. Now Nate's not a guy that's gonna go out there, but. Leon Lett is still here. Like these guys are here, but there's only so much you can do, right? Like you gotta want to be a champion and do the things that it takes. And my guy Toxic, and I'm not saying these guys aren't doing that. My guy Toxic, he dropped the super chat that said that type of stuff comes from the top down. It's so true. If you go and listen to Sean McVay speak about how he wouldn't be able to do what he's doing if it wasn't for the management allowing him to do so. He gives a ton of credit to the ownership and a ton of credit to Les Snead. So, yeah, it does start from the top down.
Well, you're 100% correct. I mean, attitude reflects leadership, and success comes with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't be successful without planning and hard work. I mean, yeah, we put in the work and we got a plan, but who's to say that it's the right way? You know, that's the whole point that we're arguing this offseason. Who's to say that Stephen Jones' way is the right way? Because he won't prove us wrong by going at it the other way.
There's just no way, in my opinion, you could say it's the right way. There's no proof to show that, like zero. The only way you're saying that is because of hopium. You hope it's the right way. We know it ain't. I digress.
Right. Yeah, you're right, Scott. But I appreciate it, man. I'm sorry, I just had to call in, man.
Good,
We can do this for hours.
We could, bro.
For hours, bro. I appreciate it. Hey, man, I listen to you every day. I'm sorry, this is my first time calling in, man, but I'll be trying to do it a whole lot more, bro.
Listen, I'd like you to call in more, man. Good call, bro. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, bro. All right, man.
I could go on and on. You know who I want to hear from? I want to hear from Ultra. Because this is interesting. Sean McVay, 1-1 in Super Bowls. Jerry Jones, 3-0. I would love to hear from you, Ultra. I would. D Block says the Shark. Yeah, man. I when this is all said and done, wherever I'm at in my career, I will always go back to that interview, man. It was. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We family. There was a point in time in the conversation. It was off air, where it hit me. I'm an emotional cat. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. It was a gift and a curse when I was younger. I've learned how to control that now as I'm older. But it was an emotional point of our conversation, man. Kenny was so deep in a lot of things he was saying that this man has a keen way of tying life into football, and it hits you. So that was just a fantastic interview, man, and I think you guys should check that out. All right, look. I really, this conversation has took a life of its own. We've had this conversation a ton of times. But I really do want to get to this fan survey. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a soft break. I'm going to get to this read. We're going to come back, and we're going to jump into this fan survey. We're going to blow through these questions here and have as much fun as we possibly can with it. I know I said we was going to roll the TV out. This ain't been a TV day. Not just yet. Well, let's talk about this week's Ride of the Week before we move on. And that is the 2023 Mazda CX-50. 2.5S. Listen, man. 2022 Mazda CX-50 is one of their newer, the first version of their SUV segment of their lineup. And I think it has a ton, and I mean a ton of options for the modern day buyer. It starts out at $29,125. Obviously has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Heated seats, heated steering wheel. I think it's dope. Now, if you're in Texas, that might not, be anything to you. The adaptive cruise control, Wi-Fi hotspot, right? The backup camera, all the goods that you need. Plus, it is very, very spacious. So if you want to know more about this week's Ride of the Week, which is the Freeman Mazda 2023 CX-50, hit up freemanmazda.net or visit them in Irving, Texas.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions.
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
That was spirited. I like that, though. You know, I said this fan survey is going to be the pulse of the nation. Kind of a wordplay of our call-in line, but I don't think there's a more fitting title or name or whatever you want to call it for the call-in line than Pulse of the Nation. I think it was Bobby Belt. That might have been Bobby. One of the media guys said this to us about a year or so ago. We truly have the Pulse of the Nation. I believe that. I believe our community truly has the pulse. Whether we agree or disagree, you being here July 8th, to me, is the true diehards. I truly believe that. All right, man. We're going to go ahead and move forward with this fan survey. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, over on The Athletic, again, shout out to John Machota. After the show, I'm going to actually put the link in the description so you can go and do this survey yourself. You can take this survey. I don't know how many questions it is, but it was more than I thought when I was looking on my phone. So we'll go through it together. And it's pretty fun. He's basically doing a Pulse of the Nation himself, just in a question format. So let's take a look at this as we get ready to roll through here. I'm just going through the chat one more time. All right, we good. Let's do it. And he starts off with a banger, Cowboys Nation. Straight up. He don't lead you in. He don't take his time. He don't ask you to smile. Straight up, how many games will the Cowboys win, and how far will they go in the season? So let's start off with the first question. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through all of these. Put your answers in the chat, your comments, your concerns, whatever you want to do. But we're going to go ahead and answer these things one by one. We'll try to go through them as quickly as possible. We might stretch this all the way to 10. We'll see. How many games will the Cowboys win this season? Less than 8, 8 or 9, 10 or 11, 12 or 13, more than 13. So for those who are listening to this and not watching, I'm going to go ahead and read the answers and read the questions for y'all. And I'm going to get into the chat. And I'll give my answer. If I can. There might be some TBDs on there. But how many games will the Cowboys win? His options, less than 8, 8 or 9, 10 or 11. I don't know why he did it this way. He could have just give us a number. 12 or 13, more than 13. Let me see. I might be able to pull the chat up. That way we're not. There we go. I don't got to read every single name. So looks like a lot of double digits. Kind of how I feel too. 13 second round. 8, 9 Mel. So that was the lowest so far is 8 and 9. Sadiqa says 14. You want to hear something very interesting, Sadiqa? The Dallas Cowboys franchise has never won 14 games in the regular season. I knew that if you go back and look, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. 8 or 9 says Jaw. Captain says 10. Arthur 10. Gregory 12. And I'm still reading the damn names. 14 and 3. I don't see how a healthy roster is getting less than 10, says Kenyama. That's kind of how I feel. I look at this as a double-digit win team. There's 17 games now instead of 16. So I got this. I'm actually going to I'm going to cheat a little bit. He has 10 or 11 and 12 or 13. I'm cheating, John, because I can. This is my remix. I got 11 or 12. I think Dallas wins 11 or 12 games this year, which would be 12 and 5 again like last year, or 11 and 6. Maybe they'll lose an extra game. But this is barring injury. Looking at the schedule, probably shouldn't do that in July, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Right now, looking at the schedule, barring injury, I think this is a double-digit win team. I don't know if that's enough to get you a bye. I know it's probably not enough to get you a bye week. And there's only one bye week now, so they'll have to go through the gauntlet in regards to getting to 3 games in the playoffs. So that's where the real question heats up. I think we're all confident this team can win double-digit games barring injury. But when you go down to the second question, how far will the Cowboys go this season? John said, I'm starting this off with some heat. Missed the playoffs, losing the first round of the playoffs, losing the divisional round of the playoffs, losing the NFC Championship game, losing the Super Bowl, or win the Super Bowl? How far will the Cowboys go this season, Cowboys Nation? That's the real important question. The wins, we've had a number of double digit win seasons. Whatever. Honestly, I give a damn if we win 9 games, get to the playoffs. If we win the Super Bowl, who gives a damn about the 9 wins in the regular season? This is where it matters. So, how far will they go? One and dones I'm seeing in here. Lose in the first round. I don't have much faith at this point, says King. The only injuries that concern me are Dak and Micah, says Ultra. I don't think you want to lose Lamb and those boys, man. There's some other injuries you don't want to lose. B. Bird, divisional round loss. So another essentially one and done. Jeremy has us in the NFC Championship game. I'm seeing a lot of one and dones. Colin has us in the championship game. Wild card losses, Mel. So Mel, you funny, bro. Are we going to the playoffs at 8 wins, 9 wins? You know what? Let me just say this. Listen, the Cowboys could win this measly division at 9 and was it 9 and 8 now? So maybe they could. Lord has them winning the Super Bowl. That's the only one I've seen now. And you know what? I love that we put this question up because all off season, I haven't really asked y'all, what y'all think the Cowboys going to do? Win the Super Bowl? Because we've only had maybe 1 or 2 people that said Dallas is winning the Super Bowl, like Marv or what have you. But in general, this is great to really get the pulse of the nation. How far do you think the Dallas Cowboys will go? And I'm seeing a lot of one and dones. Not making the playoffs, says Derek. Scotty has us in the championship game. And remember, this is in July, right? Like, I'm not one of those types that say whatever you say right now, you can't change your mind if you get more data. That's not me. If you feel as though at this moment, we haven't seen training camp, we haven't seen preseason, we haven't seen any games, you feel like this team is one and done or 9-win team, that's fair. I'm going to say, I think they win the playoff game this year. So essentially that would be a one and done, losing the divisional round, because that means you got to go on the road to play one of those teams. That sounds about right now. And that seems to be the overwhelming feel. That sounds about right. I'd say lose in the divisional round as the floor. I think lose in the NFC Championship game as the ceiling. Anything after that, to me, 100%. Not going to sit here and act like I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked if the Cowboys advanced to the Super Bowl this year. Happily shocked, but I'd be shocked. So, floor, divisional round of playoffs, ceiling, NFC Championship game. D-Block said, Sky, I don't know, man. Jaws has 20 plus years losing, makes it hard to have faith. That's of course. Of course. And listen, if and this is more, I'm really asking on a more serious note, not on a, we're going 17-0 Super Bowl champs. Like, yeah, we all hope that, right? We all wish the Cowboys would go 17-0 and win the damn Super Bowl. But like, in all seriousness, if you had to put money, if you had to put your paycheck or your salary on the Dallas Cowboys or whatever, right? In this to happen, I feel like I could top off at the NFC Championship game, and the floor is getting to the divisional round and losing. Anything past that would be a surprise to me. Super Bowl bound, says Joey. And I hope so, bro. I hope so. Whenever the hell it happened, just know I'm going crazy. All right, let's move on. I said I was going to blow through these, but I'm not. I apologize. We got 2 questions here. How do you feel about the current state of the franchise? And then we'll get to the Mike McCarthy question down there. This is a quick, simple one. I'm excited about the future. I feel the same as I have the last 25 years. This is the most frustrated I've been. Man, he didn't really give you much in between. If I had to pick between all three of these, like, this isn't the most frustrated I've been. Dude, we were 5-11 for 3 years in a row. We were 8-8, losing in the last game of the year to get into the playoffs with the miraculous fashion of Tony Romo. I was more frustrated then. Do I feel the same as the last? I know a lot of y'all would definitely feel the same as the last 25 years. I totally get that. So, based off of these answers, I got to go with excited about the future. Because these other answers to me don't give you much room. They don't give you much room. So I'll see what y'all say. I'm going to go with the first one because there's not a different answer here. I don't feel the same as I felt the last 25 years in the sense of 25 years ago, I wasn't this person. You know what I'm saying? I almost gave my age away. 25 years ago, I didn't have this thought process of my Dallas Cowboys, so I don't feel that same way. Now, if he would have said 5 years, 10 years, maybe I could have had a better answer with that, but so that doesn't apply to me. Most frustrated I've been, nah, this ain't it. So I'd go with excited, which is weird, but yeah. B Bird, now see, guys, and this is not, B Bird's my OG, and other fans in here as well, you know, that are older than me and seen success over decades, right? I could totally understand y'all saying this is the most frustrated. I get that 100%. Man, probably should go with that last one, but I don't feel the most frustrated because I remember how I felt when we were 5, and I remember how I felt during 8-8. I was super frustrated then. I didn't see any hope. I do see hope, but it's mostly because of the damn talent. But it takes more than talent. It takes more than talent. The first one says Colin. First one says Dak. DA says excited. Dak offers so much more hope to this franchise than Romo did. If Catboy doing things not too excited, bro. So D-Bach is saying, yeah, Catboy definitely caps the excitement. So that's fair. Ultra says he loves this team. He's never been so excited about our young players. You've never been more. This is the most excited. How old are you, Ultra? I'm curious. This is the most excited you've ever been for a Cowboys team? Shit, I mean, hell, last year I might have been a little bit more excited. 25 years ago, TC says Sky was 8. Y'all don't know how old I was 25 years ago. Y'all just go ahead and you know, keep on guessing. A mix of 2 and 3. Says King. Oscar. All right, let's get to the next one. What grade do you give Mike McCarthy entering his 3rd season as Cowboys head coach? A, B, C, D, F. I'm gonna read what y'all say first. Maybe y'all will influence me a little bit here. Initially, right off the back of I'll tell y'all what I said immediately in my head, and then I'll see if I'll get influenced. What grade would you give Mike McCarthy entering his 3rd season as Cowboys head coach? I'm gonna pull up the chat so y'all can see. Toxic with the zingers today. Head coach. You mean babysitter? Lots of C's. Oh my God, look at this. Kind of fair. We got 2 kings in here. We can't have 2 kings in here, man. I mean, y'all all kings, don't get me wrong. But we got King Ken and then King Element. So the overwhelming, and that Sky 43, the overwhelming grade to me seems to be C. Let me tell you, y'all did influence me. Y'all didn't have to say nothing. Y'all just listed the what's up, Miss Sheila. Sadiqa said, what happened here? Oh, my bad. Sadiqa said, where'd I go? Here we go. 27 years ago, you was fit. How old was you 25 years ago? 27? 37. Salute to you, Miss Sadiqa. I was going to say B. I was going to say B because of what he has to deal with the front office and Jerry and things like that and Steven. But then I said, well, why the hell would I award him for not, I don't want to use the word controversy, but for not having that confrontation that I think is needed to get over the hump as a coach under the Dallas Cowboys star. So I agree C. I'm going to say C because I want right now, July 8th, because I would give you a B or an A if you were like, man, Jerry and Steven, we're going to do this my way. Right? But, hey, I lied on the resume to get in here. Cool. So lie your way in here to change things because I don't want to get conspiracy on y'all, but there was a former president who did that, but he's no longer with us because it is what it is. Got to talk to my bro Okoye about all that. But do that. If you're going to finesse your way in somewhere, finesse your way in there to make changes. Don't finesse your way in there to kick back, throw your hands up, and everything's gravy. So I'm going with C. And DA says he will be fired. Well, you know me, DA. What do I always say? Fire me then. Fire me. I can see him saying he don't want to get fired because maybe he doesn't get a job elsewhere. But if you that confident in your ability, I wouldn't give a damn. See, Kellen, this is why it shocks me. If I was Kellen, if this is true, the conspiracy is true, that, well, from the top, they told him to stop doing this and doing that. If that's true, if I was Kellen, I would have just kept doing me because I know I can get a job somewhere else. But I digress. I'm going with C. What grade do you give Jerry Jones, the GM, since replacing Jason Garrett? A through F. This ought to be interesting. This ought to be interesting. A through F. What grade do you give Jerry Jones, the GM, since replacing Jason Garrett with McCarthy? Oh, I'm going to pull this up. Y'all ain't right. Immediately, F's and G's. I think F is a bit harsh. B's, F plus. It's an F plus. D, F, D, B. Yeah. I'm up. Can Z if I could. Yo, I didn't. Okay, so I'm not lying. I knew y'all was gonna say F. I think F is a bit harsh. Y'all could talk me into it, but I ain't going higher than a C. I'd probably go D plus, C minus. C minus is grading on the curve. Because you could do this multiple ways, right? If you say, well, Jerry Jones, the GM drafting, you'd say A. 100% A plus. Jerry Jones in trading and free agency, you probably be like, nah, that's a D. So what does that level out to? I don't know. But we don't do that with general managers, right? It's a totality. Because you got to take into account who's the coach he hired. Does he allow his coaches to do his thing? Who's the offensive coordinator he hired? The defensive coordinator or whatever. Free agency, trades, drafting, all that goes into the general manager. And to me, it comes out to be average at best. But a lot of y'all giving him an F, though. And I get why. I understand why. Jeremy said a B for just getting rid of Jason Garrett. King said a D because at the end of the day, it's been a complete failure, but it's lackluster. I'm not even going to argue with y'all, man. B Bird. What grade would you give him? 0, says B Bird. I feel you. I feel y'all. If y'all want to hold on, I'm going to go ahead and lock these lines. If y'all want to hold on, hold tight. I want to kind of get through as many of these I can get to, and then I got y'all and we'll end the show. We're going to hit overtime, so it's all good. All right, here we go. How many games? Mind y'all, I didn't see any of these, so I'm reacting to them as much as y'all. When I say any, I just zoom past them to see how many questions it was. How many games do you plan to attend this season? None, at least 1, 2 or 3, more than 3. I was going to ignore this question, but I actually want to know because, as you guys know, game day lives, if everything goes well, will be at Texas Live, which is across the street from the stadium. So if you're going to be there for a game or multiple games, come holla at your boy. Come holla at me. 2 to 3 Professor, at least 1 B Bird. I met B Bird. I met B Bird and his wonderful family down there. I forget which game it was, B Bird, but it was awesome to see you in person and talk to you, man. I felt that love, man. I felt that when I saw you. So that was awesome. 0-3 Montana. 1 to 3 says Tim. Flow 1. Sadiqa says 0. And I want to get to a point, honestly, as a creator and in my career where I want to give away a game ticket or something like that too. So I'm gonna try to do that for y'all as well. So if y'all there, holla at your boy. Who will win the NFC East? Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, Giants. Now listen. If y'all say anything other than the Dallas Cowboys, who's gonna win? Let's just do that first. Right now, in July, who do you have winning this division? Right? This is easy, right? Like the division, that's not what I worry about. It's the rest of the league that we have to beat. When I say worry, I don't mean that you're scared, but if we can't win the NFC East, you ain't got no business being in the playoffs, and you're not going to go out there and beat on these other top teams of the 2022 season. So you best win the NFCs. Come on, man. Cowboys. DA, I feel you, bro. They got to prove it to me. Because he said nobody's winning back-to-back with no injuries, and on paper, it's us. That's how I've been for years. Every time we win, I'd be like, man, we don't get injured, man. I mean, barring injury, we can win it, and we never do. So I think in July, though, the Cowboys are the NFC East favorites. It sucks that it hasn't happened back-to-back seasons. That is the one concern that I got. And it ain't like it's a fluke. It ain't happened since the 90s, right? But at some damn point, you got to break those trends. And if we got to take baby steps to get to the Super Bowl, damn it, this is a baby step. First step, win back-to-back division. The next step, get to the NFC Championship game. The next step, win the Super Bowl, right? That's all I want to see is progression. Because then I have confidence that winning the Super Bowl will happen, right? Break the cycle, man. Exactly. What's the next question? Okay. The Cowboys haven't been to the NFC Championship game in 26 years. Will they end the streak in the next 3 years? Yes or no? Will the Cowboys end the NFC Championship game streak in the next 3 years? Yes or no? That's another one. See, that one is more hard for me to answer than the division one. The division one is like, all right, y'all, some damn point you can win back-to-back in this division. The championship game, a little bit more rough. Next 3 years, I want to have the full-blown confidence to say yes, but I truly do believe it's going to take Steven to dip his toe. I ain't even asking him to jump into the waters. Just dip it. Just a little dip. A little dip. See how warm the water is? Dip his toe into the free agency and trade market. Or let's forget calling it that. Into the aggressive market. It's going to take Steven to get a little bit aggressive. Damn, Machota. If you'd have like, in the next 10 years, yeah, but hell yeah, dude. 3 years. Dak is the key, says Gregory. They better. Yeah. That's it, Sky. Just to feel the water on the big toe. Feel me? Like, listen, I can swim, but I don't, my lady would tell you, I don't just be getting in the pool. I'm not the type that be like, oh, swim and just jump in. I got to ease my way in the water. I'm not asking Steven to just go ahead and do a belly flop into the water. Just dip it in there. That's all. Yes, because if not, Jerry got to put Steven in timeout. I think I think Steven has put Jerry in timeout. I think Steven has told Jerry, you know how we do the Eagle fans? Okay, you in the chat, you acting like that. Here's your coloring book. Go sit down at the kid table and be distracted while the grown folk handle things. I think Steven told Jerry, hey, Daddy, listen. You handle blockchain. You handle Black Rifle Coffee. You handle business. I got football operations. He put him in the corner. He distracted him. So I say it'd be the other way around. And if it get done, I'm not saying this to be an argument, right? But if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl because of the Stephen Jones way, you best believe Stephen Jones is going. This ain't going to be Jerry getting the credit. 100% Stephen Jones will come out here and talk his shit. And honestly, I will come out. All hell Stephen Jones. Until then, Vach. I wish I had Vach's thing. Until then, basically. And I can say that now. As Professor O knows, there was a possibility that I wouldn't be able to say that. But basically, till that happens. All right, what's the next one? Who's the most valuable Cowboy player? Come on, man. This is Dak Prescott. What are you talking about? I'll let y'all answer, though. Most valuable Cowboy. I mean, wasn't best. Brings the most value to this team. It's Dak Prescott, man. You know it. Oh, gosh. Toxic. Ryan, no. It's Dak for sure. Professor O, yes. Dak. Oh, what? Professor O, know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been able to say that, Professor O. But I can say that now. Dallas wins the Super Bowl. Sky will be twerking in the right. Yo, I might be doing some crazy things. You know what, Ultra? I don't know what I'm going to be doing. One thing I can guarantee you, if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, I will not remember aspects of what happens right after. So I'm going to need Michelle to record me and all that good stuff. Because I'm going to be at the toilet, cleaning up a mess and throwing up and all that stuff. And then right the next day, I'm down near, downtown Dallas, doing it again. So maybe I will have a Ryan Nall jersey on, but I promise you I ain't twerking. I don't do all that. Sky gonna be singing New Edition when Dallas win it all. Man, it's kind of fun talking about what you would do. You know what this is like? And this sucks. We shouldn't have to feel this way. This is like, what would you do if you won the $570 billion jackpot lottery? Oh my God, it's so much fun talking about all the things. Deep down, you like, man, this ain't gonna happen. All right, Dak Prescott, right? Wait a minute. Which rookie will make the biggest impact this season? Tyler Smith, Sam Williams, Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson. I like this one, John Machota. Jonathan Garibay or other. Which rookie will make the biggest impact this season? King. Y'all ain't ish. Sam Williams, Tyler Smith. Let me pull up the chat for y'all. Sam, Sam, really? I wouldn't expect y'all to say Sam. Tyler Smith, to me, and Jalen Tolbert, I would think, are the runaway favorites with the possibility. With that one right there, who said that? Toxic Tom. It might be Garibay, especially if we can get consistent field goal play. That is, I'm glad he included that, because if I had to go out on a limb, I'd say probably Tyler Smith, because he's going to be your starting left guard, right? And then right after that, Jonathan Garibay if he's your kicker. And if he's a solid kicker, didn't we see how impactful it is to have one both good and bad impact? Good impact because when Greg Zuerlein was good, he made game-winning and game-tying field goals. When he didn't, he cost the Cowboys ultimately cost us some games. So I'd say Tyler Smith, Tolbert in regards to the stats and whatnot, but Garibay is a super dark horse. Where we at? All right, let's move on. Which player's departure will be the toughest to replace? Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory, Lyle Collins, Cedric Wilson, or other? It's a fun question. Which player's departure will be the toughest to replace? Tougher to replace. I like Terrence Steele, so I don't know if I'm going to go Collins. Said Wilson. I think I got my answer. Amari Cooper. I'm going to go and say that Lamb is Amari. So I think you're going to get. I told you. I think if the Cowboys focus on Lamb being a real wide receiver one, he could have a career year with Dak Prescott. So I think he'll replace the production. The impact, I don't know. I got to see how they play against him. Randy, man, Randy's good, but Randy's damn good. But if we're talking production, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, we can replace the 6 sacks. I think that's true. I think you can replace the 6 sacks. I think he did other things for you as well. But I think Fowler, now if we talked about Fowler and Vaughn, I think Randy and Fowler are more comparable than the other way around. How crazy is this? Toughest to replace. Y'all don't kill me, but I'm going to say Said. And this is on the fly. But this is why I think maybe Said. It's not what he did as a receiver, although what he did as a receiver was fantastic. So he was a receiver. He also threw the ball on the trick plays. He also did the reverses. He also was your punt returner. He also played on the special teams. So he was a man that did a bunch of things. I don't think Tolbert's going to be doing that. I don't think James Washington's going to be doing that. We know Lamb and Cooper ain't going to be doing that. Semi ain't going to do that. Vasher or Noah. So it sounds crazy, but just hear me out. Said Wilson's role was more than just a slot receiver. Production-wise, it was damn good too. Let's not think 600 plus yards, 6 touchdowns is just like cakewalk, right? Like if you get that, you're happy that your dude got that. But then there was the other things. Maybe I'm just being different with this answer, but I'm gonna go with it. Said, what you talking about? It is a good question. Chris says Gregory. Andrew says Lyell. C-Mel, and that's what a lot of people are saying, right? Like Tolbert and Washington could be considered your Amari replacements. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Lamb slides into the Amari role, though. If it was the other, like if they came out and said, yeah, we are replacing Amari with James and Tolbert, then yeah, this is 100% Amari Cooper. Those dudes aren't Amari Cooper. Keith says Wilson. Joey says it's been our kicker. I miss Dan Bailey, the good Dan Bailey. If still shows regression, maybe Collins. Maybe I'm a bit more high on my cousin than most of y'all are. I can't really see him regressing. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't know how you improve as much as you did, and all of a sudden you just regress that hard. I think you'll just get better with more time. B. Bird says, Coop. Am I crazy for saying said? Said now think about no more gadget plays. You know what I'm saying? TC said I'd say said too. All right, we got a couple saids. I agree. Said Cooper. Lamb was number 1 last year, though, Sky. Lamb was number 1 in production, right? But Lamb wasn't your number 1 wide receiver. The offense passing offense didn't revolve around CD Lamb. I think CD Lamb was a recipient of, and this is not knocking CD, of having a guy like Amari Cooper, right? Like when you're getting, in my opinion, attention brought to you, and attention doesn't necessarily always mean physically double. And the game I like to always go back to is the Vikings game. because this is the perfect opportunity to see how am I going to play the best player when the quarterback's out. Go watch Harrison Smith when he was in single high. A lot of the times he's shading over to Amari Cooper. And just that hesitance or just that quick step over or your shading or your hedging, whatever you want to call it, is enough to say, I got the angle now to XYZ. So that's why I say Coop was the number one last year, but you're right. Lamb was the number one in regards to catches, yards, things like that. Not touchdowns, but catches and yards. All right, let's move forward real quick because I think there's still a good amount of questions left. Which position group concerns you the most? Offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, or other? Come on, John. This is the first time I'm going to say, John, you disappointed me with the question. You completely missed the most obvious answer here, but I'll see if y'all drop it in the chat. Which position group concerns you the most? O-line, D-line, wide receiver, other. This is clearly other, right? Asmodeus, D-line. Huh. I'd argue of those three, I might be the most confident. Thank you. How did he miss this, y'all? I'm gonna just show this. It's a linebacker. I mean, how is it not linebacker? Micah Parsons, and we joke about this, right? Micah Parsons makes your linebacker room a strength. This is how good he is. You remove him, it's a weakness. Well, most people might say a linebacker room is, strength lies in their depth. Mike is just so damn good that he's all world at that position. But when Michael has to come down and play as a DE if somebody gets hurt or just in general, the linebacker room takes a hit, man. I think it's linebacker. King Ken said nobody has said safety. That's improvement there. I think safety is, I like safety. Top three are really damn good. The fourth one you could up for competition. All right, where we at here? Dak Prescott threw for 4,900 yards in 16 games in 2019. Threw for 4,400 plus yards in 16 games last season. How many yards will he throw this season? Under 4, between 4 and 45, between 45 and 5, more than 5. I got between 4 and 45. I don't think you want to see him get too much more than that. I mean, I guess you can say 45 and 5. I'll change it. I'll go 4,500 yards and 5,000, but more on the lower end. I don't think we want to see him throw for more than 5,000. Like Tom Brady did that, and I get it. That's Tom Brady, and that's their offense. I don't think we want to just morph into this super pass-heavy offense now that we don't have that trio of, in my opinion, 3 guys that can go berserk in Lamb, Cooper, and Gallup. Maybe Tolbert morphs into that, right? But I thought the way this offense was, or maybe still is, in regards to, hey, we got 3 guys. We're not going to feature any one of them. As long as one of them do their thing. And you had 3 dudes that I think could do that. I don't think your receiver room is the same this year. It just ain't until they prove that to us. So I'll go between 45 and 5. CeeDee Lamb is the favorite to lead the Cowboys in receiving yards. Who will finish second? And he included Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert, James Washington, or other. What happened, Sadiqa? Who's going to place you in timeout? Who will lead the Cowboys? Who will be second in yards, receiving yards for the Cowboys? Schultz, Gallup, Tolbert, Washington, other. Tolbert, Schultz, other. Mr. Radborn, are you going where I think you're going with that one? I thought he was going to go with a nice little clever answer. He trolled me. Said Noah Brown. Unfortunately, Dalton Schultz. When we make a trade, Ivan, let me go ahead and dissect that. When would we make that trade? Because I'm gonna tell you how bad that would be for this team if that happens. When we making that trade, Ivan? D Schiff has Schultz. Okay, so Schultz would be the second leading. Tolbert the third. Gallup 600. Wow. Sheesh. Ultra says Gallup. People tend to forget he was a 1,000-yard receiver before Lamb got here. This is true. If Gallup was here all 17 games, I probably would say Gallup without hesitation. But I'm still going to, until I hear otherwise, I think he's going to miss the first 4 weeks. I know they said 2 to 3, but Dallas it's always more than what they say. So I'm going to go ahead and say he'll probably miss the first month of the season. That's around to put him on pup. But I think at the very least it'd be 3-4 games. And because of that, that could make it tougher for him. So I probably agree and say Dalton Schultz. But we really need it to be Gallup, I think. Even when he comes back, right? Like, who said the Ultra? If Gallup comes back and he's your second leading receiver after missing 3-4 games, that's a plus. TJ Vasher. All right. If you were the GM, moving on, and you could sign Dalton Schultz to a 4-year deal that would pay him around $11 million per season, which is about what he will make this season under the franchise tag, with $22 million guaranteed, would you do it? Long question. If you were the GM and you could sign Dalton Schultz to a 4-year deal that would pay him around $11 per, would you do it with $22 million guaranteed? That is way under the market right now, ain't it? Ain't the market about 14.5? And then the secondary high end of the market is 12.5. Listen, the issue with Schultz to me ain't that he's a bad player. It's just that with $14 million or even this $10 million, I could have went out and got somebody. So there's that too, though. I'm gonna say no. Schultz, don't block me. But that's under the market, though. That ain't an easy question. Because on one end, I would love to have taken the $10 million the Cowboys tagged him, or $11 million the Cowboys tagged him with this year, and used that to get Bobby Wagner and Von Miller, and just using them names because we talked about them today. And I'd be like, cool, I'll go get the Colts tight end, O.J. Howard, draft a guy hired in the fourth round, whatever, and live with it. So I think you got to give me a little bit more context. What we doing with the money if we don't get them? So I'm gonna stand on the no. But if you said, yeah, I get it, bro. $11 million is way under the market value right now. Mr. Radborn says it'll keep your QB happy because Dak likes him. Dak also will like a better player. Yeah. All right. Who will finish with more combined rushing and receiving yards, Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard? Go. We got into a fight about this yesterday. Who will finish with more combined rushing and receiving yards? I'm going to say this answer. It ain't got nothing to do with Tony. It's Zeke. Only way it wouldn't be Zeke is if based off of history, based off of this offensive coordinator and this front office, how can you not say it's not Zeke? Zeke may not be the greatest player when he gets hurt, but he gonna play. That's one thing about him. He ain't gonna miss a bunch of games, so he's gonna rack up the numbers in that way. We know the front office wants to get him the ball to justify paying him, and we know for whatever reason, Kellen Moore maybe he don't got the juice or the gall to be like, Zeke, get out. Tony Pollard is a better receiver in this situation. We want to throw it to him more. And we haven't seen a ton of 20. So July 8th is Ezekiel Elliott. It's Zeke, right? Yeah. I mean, what y'all saying there? He will get more opportunities. The bigger contract will. B. Bird says. Yeah. Zeke, D-Block. It's Zeke because Dallas. But Tony could easily be your Alvin Kamara. And Zeke could be Melvin, or I keep saying Melvin Ingram. Is it Mark? Why I keep forgetting his first name? Because I got Melvin Ingram in my head, and there's another Ingram, the pass rusher. There's Melvin Gordon. Is it Mark Ingram? I keep forgetting that man's first name. So yeah, it could be something like that. But it's Zeke. It's Mark. Thank you, King. Which offensive line position makes you most nervous? Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. Boy, he's getting good with these questions. Immediately, you think center because he's probably going to be your weak link. But Tyron Smith, bro, he get hurt. If Tyron Smith get hurt, I'm nervous now because you're going to slide out Tyler Smith out there. He's a rookie. I don't want to do that back and forth, snip, snap, snip, snap. You're going to move Terrence over there. Now it's going to take him 2, 3, 4 games to get acclimated because he's switching sides. And so I'd argue left tackle, man, because of what can happen if he's not in. Ooh, Oscar got a good question. Would you not sign Schultz in order to keep Pollard? Well, depends how they use him. Also depends if Sean Payton's here. Because if Sean Payton comes, absolutely. If Sean Payton comes, come on, man. See you, Schultz. All right, let's go. We're getting through these. Micah Parsons had 13 sacks. Did I get that right? Or did I miss a? Oh, yeah. Micah Parsons had 13 sacks in 16 games as a rookie. How many will he have this season? Less than 7, 7 to 10, 11 to 14, 15 to 18, more than 18. 15 to 18. 15 to 18. That ain't, you know, I think that's more than acceptable. My man had 13 as a part-time rusher, right? And I know people are going to game plan for me, but like I said on Vosh and Brady live show on the volume, Micah going to be game planning too. This is year 2. He got thrown in the fire literally in the second week. He talked about how one day he was working with the linebackers and DQ came over and said, "Hey, Micah, we're going to need you at defense end. You good? Man, whatever you need, coach." And that's how he did it. So, man, 15 to 18 if he's truly dedicated. Trevin Diggs led the NFL with 11 interceptions last year. How many would he have this season? Now, interceptions are way more harder to get. We've never seen a back-to-back 11 interception season, I don't think. Or at least in the last 40 years, we ain't seen 11 interception season. So, the regression to the mean is very much likely. But I'm still going to say, because he's a natural ball hawk, that he gets more than 5. So I'm going to go to 5 to 7. And I don't want to hear these people on here, if he does have less than 5, but he gives up 800 yards, y'all come on here talking about, well, you know, he ain't getting no picks. And y'all complaining about that. So I got 5 to 7 because I think he's still going to get interceptions. He's a natural ball hawk. It's an instinct of his. I don't think you can coach that out of him, but what you can coach is the nuances of the position, and he talks about that a lot. So I think he'll get better in the sense of his actual coverage, which isn't bad. And what that'll do is you're just not going to try the man. Also, remember, we talked about this yesterday. I think Dan Quinn might throw a little wrench into this scheme, bro. I truly do. I think Dan Quinn might say, okay, I got Malik now, right? I know what J-Ron could do down here. I might do some funny things with Sam. Jabril Cox is coming back. I don't necessarily need to go so much cover one. So much man coverage. He won man coverage more than anybody last year in the league. You might throw Hooker back there. Definitely if the DTs can hold up. You don't need an extra man in the box. He might throw Hooker back there and keep J-Ron back there a little bit more. Not all the time. And what that'll do is it'll give Diggs more safety help. And if he got safety help and he can just play underneath, he can just read what you're going to do or read the quarterback. You don't test that man. Sure, test him if he's one-on-one. You got a Tim Patrick. You got a big receiver. You got a 50-50 ball. Those are 50-50 balls for a reason. But don't test him if he got help. That's how I look at it. So I'm going to go 5-7. Micah Parsons is the favorite to lead the team in sacks. Who will finish second? Y'all should know my answer. I said I'm going to go ahead and make a bold statement when I talked about this said player and stand on it. I think Dante Fowler. Maybe double digits might be, I don't want to use the word homer, but a bit much. But I think Dante Fowler is going to have a lot of sacks. 9 sacks. It's a lot to me. 9, 10 sack type of season. So outside of Micah, who's going to be Micah, I think Dante Fowler will lead the team in sacks, not named Micah. Oppo of D-Law. Because D-Law, for whatever reason, when he has that capable pass rusher opposite of him, they always eat. They always eat. So I got Fowler. But D-Law said he coming for that title. It ain't because I don't think D-Law can do it. I just think that teams will have to pay attention more to DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. A lot of questions. Y'all cool? Everybody good? Do y'all need to take a sip of water? We good to keep rolling a little bit? Y'all been 200 plus strong in here for the last 2 hours, so I appreciate that. If y'all good, drop some fire emojis. We can go ahead and finish this thing up. We almost done, man. We got about 4 or 5 more questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 more questions. A little bit longer than I thought we would do today, but that was because the first part was also some fire. So let's keep it rolling. All right. Trayvon Diggs is expected to lead the team in interceptions. Who will finish in second? Devil emoji. I want to see if there's some people who agree with me before I say it. Derek, come on, bro. Sky, who's faster, Micah or Fowler? Micah. Did you see that race they were doing? I should have pulled that video up. Who's going to finish second in interceptions on this team? I already see my answer. Oh, y'all coming through. Look at that. It's beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. Yep. Malik Hooker. In fact, I think Malik Hooker might lead the team in interceptions. I truly do. I truly think that Malik Hooker, if he plays on that roof, if he plays more cover 2, if they're not asking Malik Hooker to be more in the box this year. Yeah, Betsy, we are putting a lot of faith in Malik Hooker. But remember, Malik Hooker, I think I did a film review when he got signed, but all the stuff got wiped for whatever reason. Go watch him. Go watch him in Indianapolis when he was healthy, man. Ball hawk. Go watch him at OSU. Ball hawk. I don't think that changed. Malik just got hurt. So if he stays healthy, I think Malik Hooker will be our best read and react free safety, ball hawk safety, whatever you want to call him, the Cowboys have had in quite some time. Right? I got Malik Hooker, man. You mean Hook IR? Damn, that was a good one. Yeah, you got to stay healthy. Yes, King Element said he's not going Hooker because he's not going to play a full season, but he played a full season last year, right? King Ken said, "Hey Sky, we need a list in order Sky on this one." What you mean, King? Derek says, if Hooker can finally play close to what was thought of his potential coming out and can stay healthy, he'll be a beast. I'd just scratch out that first part. I think you start to see him come around in Indy. I think you saw him come around in Dallas. It's just a matter of the last part. Can he stay healthy? Even a broken clock is right twice a day, Scott. It's true. Okay, a few more. Which linebacker plays more defensive snaps this season? LVE or Jabril Cox? You better hope it's Jabril Cox. Don't beat me up, LVE fans. LVE stayed healthy last year, but Jabril was a bit more versatile. I'm going to keep it a buck. It ain't like LVE is nice. It's just, he's just nice in the run game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's this run linebacker stopper getting 15 tackles for loss. I think if the defensive tackles are what they've been over the last number of years in Dallas, Jabril Cox offers more playmaking ability, meaning I don't want to take him off the field. I want to put him on the field. Now, where this could get weird is that he's not a middle linebacker. LVE has that versatility, I use that in quotes, to play in the middle because he's more of a traditional thumper size-wise. He don't play like that. But size-wise, he's 6'4", 260. So he's kind of technically your only other middle linebacker. So that's where things can get funny. Where Jabril is more so going to be your will linebacker, or, you know, playing next to Micah on the outside, not on the inside. So, but I would say, man, it needs to be Jabril Cox. All right, we're down to the final 3. Yeah, you can't see the last one. If you could take one player off another NFL team and put him on the Cowboys, who would it be? This is easy. Oh, this is easy. I don't give a damn how high on the player that I love this year. This is easy. If you could take one player and put him on the Cowboys, who would it be? This should be unanimous. Now, because fans got favorite players, so it don't got to be unanimous. But I think this one dude, I don't like to use a Super Bowl word because boy ain't done shit to do it. But I'll be throwing around Super Bowl if we had him on this team. 100%. Aaron Donald. Listen, y'all. Patrick Mahomes? That's interesting. It's not the offense I care. If you get Aaron Donald on this team, this defense gets stupid scary. Stupid scary. Because you got three dudes you got to worry about. Oh, my God. Come on. It's Aaron Donald, man. Not one quarterback. Nah, I shouldn't say that because some quarterbacks would be like, you, Kellen. This is what we doing. So I ain't going to say that. I guess there's a few quarterbacks that can come in here and throw their weight around a little bit. I don't know if it's Patrick, though. I know y'all heard about the little situations going on with Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes. Bieniemy was like, nah, fam. Gonna do it my way. Honestly, and then I love Mahomes, but if we talking quarterback, if you wanted to switch the question around, which quarterback would you swap Dak out for? I don't even know that I'd go Mahomes. And I think Mahomes is fantastic. But I just look at this league that you don't need to be an alien to win the Super Bowl. So other aspects of the game come into play. Patrick would be one of the guys, sure. But you know, there's other quarterbacks in this league I think would be fun to have too. Man, you flip that on me, King. I wasn't even thinking about the quarterback position. We got a quarterback. Honestly, I think if you swap Dak with a better quarterback, I don't know that too much happens in 2022 because of that, right? I feel like you got a quarterback, so why not add a player onto the team at a position you want to see? Add a player on the team to a position that you need that level of play from, right? I think quarterback's the one. But I didn't see that coming. No, we're not bringing back. What's up with Toxic and Ryan, Nall, and Jeff Heath? Come on, man. Tyreek Hill. So if we're talking non-Qs and non-Aaron Donalds, Tyreek Hill will be fun. Jordan Davis for the budget fit. No. Patrick, that's not the question. I said Patrick would be one of them, TC. if we were just talking quarterbacks, right? And you said, well, we're swapping quarterbacks. Patrick would. There's like at least 4 or 5 quarterbacks. I'm like, yeah, I'd see what's up with that. But I'm talking about in totality. No, I wouldn't pick. Of all the players to pick, I would not pick Patrick Mahomes to put on this team. For why? I got a quarterback I can get it done with. Go get me another position that I think will help elevate this team that we don't have that at that position. I don't need a quarterback. Now, an Aaron Donald, I do know I need that. I love Osa. I'm projecting. I told y'all, this is 10 toes down projecting on Osa. I don't got to project with AD. AD will come here and wreck shop right now. That's what I mean. This is actually a good question. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. But let me ask you this question. The Cowboys winning the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes on this team right now? I think that's an easy-ass answer. I don't think that's some crazy. I can say right now with an Aaron Donald, I feel more confident the Cowboys would win the Super Bowl with Aaron Donald than I do with Patrick Mahomes. Dead ass. And you can take this, you can clip it out, you can do whatever. Aaron Donald over Patrick Mahomes on this team, you're closer to a Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. 100%. Because we have to factor in everything. Dan Quinn, Micah, D-Lock, the whole defense, period, right? On the other side, Kellen Moore and Patrick Mahomes, what are we talking about here? You going to bring Andy Reid with me? Maybe I have a different discussion. He has done it. Listen, bro, I'm not saying Dak is better than Patrick. I'm just talking about this team. This team, Patrick Mahomes, is not the difference, in my opinion. I think Aaron Donald could be. I ain't tripping at all. And here's the funny thing about it. And I love Pat. This is how funny this is. Patrick Mahomes had a fucking bomb squad in Kansas City, y'all. What are we talking about? Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, the head coach who's going to the Hall of Fame, one of the best play callers. Patrick Mahomes and Kellen Moore, that don't do nothing for me. So give me the position that I think we don't have that type of guy. Maybe we need to bring this up. Aaron Donald or Patrick Mahomes. That'd be something fun to talk about. All right, I said I was going to move forward, but this was just, I didn't see it going where we went. Who's the most underrated player? And then the other one is who's the most overrated. So you can give me your most underrated and most overrated in the same answer. Betsy said Patrick fell apart last year. Just saying, man. Patrick Mahomes did do it. No doubt about it. He's an alien. He did it with a shit ton of help. Know what I'm saying? But yes, I think he's better than Dak Prescott. I'm not going there. Oh, C. Burleson, you're wrong, man. And I remember this because right after the Super Bowl happened, I love numbers. I dove into things. Week 11 in the Super Bowl year, the Chiefs defense, I think it was week 11, turned the hell up. Chiefs defense was terrible at the beginning of the year. It was why they were kind of floating around 500. Then right around that, little after the midway point, I want to say they might have even acquired somebody. I can't remember. Their defense went stupid. It went stupid. And I think the only game that it looked bad in the playoffs was the first quarter of the Texans game, where the Texans just snapped. And then after that, they didn't score another point. So that's not true. Their defense was not trash. Their defense actually was one of the best defenses in the league after, like I said, about week 11 might be too late, but after about a little bit past the midway point. So the defense turned it the hell up. Before the defense did that, they were not some 10-1 type of team. So remember that. He didn't do it by himself, man. That's all I'm saying. I like Josh Allen. CD is underrated. Zeke is over his LVE. Great LVE. Overrated CD. Wow, B Bird. B Bird, next week, write this down. I need you to call in because I always want to hear your thoughts on when we disagree. Why is CD overrated? I don't want to hear it in the chat. I want you to tell me. AB's overrated. It's another one I don't think is much. Should be overrated, right? AD, most underrated Pollard. Who's AD? AB, Arthur? Pollard, most overrated. Oh, I should have saved this question for next week because I really want to know why. Most underrated AB says Justin. Melvin Ingram changed life. What was that, Melvin Ingram that they added? I think it was Melvin. No. Sky Pat had to come back 20 points every game in the playoffs. Listen, see, I'm not disagreeing on Patty Mahomes, bro. Well, I'm not disagreeing. Patrick Mahomes better than Dak Prescott. I'll leave it at that. But their defense was not trash. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Their defense and running game. Who won that Super Bowl? Patrick Mahomes or the defense and the running game in the Super Bowl? I digress. B Bird, AB. Nah, Jennifer, that's not true. Mahomes is going to be good. She said Mahomes won't be good with Hill this year. Was it Ingram? I don't think Ingram was with them in that Super Bowl year, King. I do know they added Honey Badger, and Honey Badger was an All-Pro that year in the regular season. Nah, we didn't bring in T.Y. Hilton. LVE overrated. CD overrated. Wow, with the CD, that's interesting. Overrated is Gallimore because I had him too high. Gallimore? 16, right? Where would you put him at? I didn't think anybody overrates Gallimore. I feel like he is what he is. He's 16th in the Cowboys. I think I had him, not 16th in the league. What would be considered an overrated for Gallimore? Because if he's overrated, ranked 16th, that means you have him at what, 28, 29, 30, 30 plus? That would be overrated. If you got him at like 18, 19, 20, that ain't overrated. That's in the same tier. Big. Wow. I mean, the CD overrated thing, I'm going to have to bring this back because I did not see that one coming. Yeah, I know Ingram went last year. I didn't think he went 2019. I was waiting for this one. I'm surprised it took this damn long. Flo, Dak's overrated. Dallas 8 and 9, next scapegoat. Dak overrated. I'm surprised it took that long. Overrated Ryan Nall. Thank you. And I think we're going to go ahead and end the show on overrated Ryan Nall. Let's see here. For now, yeah, for how hyped we was when we picked him. Yeah, he's a little overrated. Who? Oh, CD. Man, this is why sports are awesome. Because it's a team game. And why Cowboys fans are so interesting. For a dude who's come in here and has had the most receiving yards to begin his career in Dallas ever, or second most or something like that. I think Marcus Mosier put it in there. He's number 8 overall in the history of the league in most receiving yards to start his career. But he's overrated. How? When he did that with 5 different quarterbacks and Kellen freaking Moore as his offensive coordinator. I don't get that one. How is that possible to be overrated? How on one hand we complain about the offensive coordinator, then we say this stud of a player is overrated because said offensive coordinator. It kind of don't make sense. With Coop on his side. So should Randy Moss get docked because he had Chris Carter on his side? talent's talent. Like C. Burleson and y'all who overrate CD, like y'all see the talent, right? Like we're not. Like, the talent's there. All right. So just know, I know he ain't, but I'm using an example. Just know every receiver who comes in as a wide receiver 2. Matter of fact, Justin Jefferson. Hey, let's knock Justin Jefferson. You had Adam Thielen on the other side. Gotta knock him. Gotta knock him. Hey, Larry Fitzgerald. Nope. You had Anquan Bolden on the other side. Nope. Gotta knock him. Like, just because you got that's so weird to me. If they do it to quarterbacks, they do it to head coach. Hey man, he had talent, he had help. Of course. That's the game. He can't help that. All he can do is go out there and produce when the ball goes his way. And he did that at the 8th best rate in the history of the NFL. At the best rate in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. What more do you want him to have? 1,600-yard seasons and back-to-back seasons and 25 touchdowns? In order for that to happen, your quarterback and your offensive coordinator have to get him to rock. Yeah, T.O. had Jerry Rice, didn't he? I don't even know if T.O. was in the top 10, though, of yards when he first came in, though. I did not see that one coming, to be honest with y'all. Y'all caught me off guard with the last 2. I should have saved those last 2 for Monday. But we in overtime. It's Friday. We ain't got nothing to do. C said, facts, the talent is there. But for how we hyped him up, he is a little overrated, just a tad. Yeah. Players as number 2 says B. Bird actually helped. See, I mean, that he posted. Yeah, it helped. I mean, there's no denying that, but he produced when called upon. If CD Lamb had 700 yards year 1, 700 yards year 2, didn't produce when he was called upon, 100% overrated. 100%. But that's not the case. He can't throw himself the rock, man. And I'm going to leave it at that, man. Y'all come back on Monday. I think we're going to pick this one back up. This is fascinating. And I close the line so folks can't come in here. Y'all come back on Monday. I want to hear more about this situation. I want to hear more about what other player from another team you bring in. That was fun, too. And we're going to talk about it some more. Maybe. I might change my mind over the weekend. But y'all been great, man. This was a fun show. I finally rolled out the TV. We had a good time. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button if you're new here. If you ain't new here, still hit the like button. Y'all know how we do. Share this if you enjoyed the show and enjoy the content on the channel, right? And subscribe. Those 3 things are the easiest way to support. That's all I really ask for. I don't need nothing else, man. Y'all show amazing support to your boy every single day. Every day. And absolutely, Betsy, there was a lot of great discussions. Today. Sky, will we make another free agent signing before camp? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they get to camp, test the waters, see what happens, then they'll make a free agent signing. All right. With that said, we usually do a Feel Good Friday situation, but we are already in super overtime. If you are going to be at SmackDown, remember I'll be there. Let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at Skywalker Still, and let me know. We maybe we can meet up. We'll see what's happening. I will be out there for Camp 2, by the way, towards the end of that. I have the dates, but I'm waiting to get my tickets finalized with the company. And we'll figure that all out. But me and Vach will be out there. We'll be giving y'all as much content as we possibly can, but also enjoying ourselves while we're out there. I mean, it's my first time out there, so I want to make sure I have a good time. But anyway, that's discussion for next week. Y'all have a fantastic freaking weekend. Emphasis on the freaking. Hey! I know I will, man. SmackDown. Me, my lady, my boys, we're going to have a fantastic time. Y'all see some pictures. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. Keep y'all fingers intact if you got extra fireworks, all right? Love y'all to death. We out here. Peace.
Bomb Squad!